The PFRDA 2022 exam admit cards are now out and you are left with 10 days for the exam. So how you should spend these 10 days in your last revision before the exam is what I'm going to discuss in this video. Hello everyone, welcome to iExamB. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. So if you have not downloaded the admit card till now, you can download it from the link being shown on the screen. The link to download is open till the day of the exam, that is the 5th of November. Just to quickly revise the exam pattern, the phase 1 will consist of 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 will have 4 subjects: English language, 20 questions of 25 marks, quantitative aptitude, again 20 questions of 25 marks. Then there will be questions related to reasoning and general awareness, which will include questions related to the financial sector. So total 80 questions of 100 marks and you will get 60 minutes to attempt this. All this will be MCQ based, objective in nature. Then we will have the paper 2 in continuation, which will consist of questions from 7 different subjects including commerce and accountancy, management, finance, costing, Companies Act, economics and the pension sector. There will be 50 questions of 2 marks each to make a total of 100 marks. There is no sectional cutoff between these subjects of paper 1, so you should try to maximize your marks overall from the areas of your strength. Now if we move on how you should spend these next few days till the 4th of November for your preparation, this is a gist of how you can prepare for all the 4 subjects in the coming days. If we talk about reasoning, some of the most important aspects and topics that you should be preparing from consist of the blood relation and direction sense, input and output coding decoding, inequality and syllogism, seating arrangement, data sufficiency, puzzles and alphanumeric order and ranking. These are the topics you can prepare one day each from the reasoning section, giving enough time for revision in between. So you can divide your preparation in 2 aspects. The first 3 days, that is today, tomorrow and day after, and 30th should be spent on revision. And again 4 days you revise again various topics, and then the last day spend some time on revision, and again then in the second half you need to relax. Don't try to study till the last moment. It is very important to have a relaxed and fresh mind before the actual exam. If I talk about quant, number series, simplification and approximation, application sums, quadratic equations, data sufficiency and DI, data interpretation, are the important topics to be practiced from. English, it is very important to study the error spotting, phrasal verbs, reading comprehension, cloze test and sentence improvement and fillers and usage of words. If we come to GA, here you need to concentrate also on the financial sector. Approximately from the past trend, 50% of the questions consist of questions related to the financial sector. Here at least covering 4 to 6 months is ideal for the exam preparation. So if you have been continuously preparing for GA, this will be like the last revision. At least from the month of June onwards you should be preparing. In a more safer place, if you are very consistent, April onwards will be a good strategy too, but June onwards at least do revise the GA. So you can refer to the BPedia provided by iExamB on its website. You will find the monthly BPedia. You'll also find the weekly BPedia. This time the focus should be on revising the monthly BPedia from June onwards, and for the month of October you can go a little more in detail covering the weekly BPedias. Practice as many questions and MCQs you can during this period. Also focus more on the financial sector news from the BPedia, the first 3 sections, and the last day you can revise certain static GA related to sports, important days, appointments and even books and authors. If we talk about the paper 2, we have the 7 subjects. Here the strategy should be spending each day on one of the subjects. So first, starting with the commerce and accountancy, yes, the syllabus is there to revise, but the most important points that you should not miss during this revision time is the accounting conventions and rules, right? So there are certain conventions and concepts like the going concern and prudent, conservatism, matching principles. So all this awareness should be there. the accounting standards specifically related to depreciation, revenue and inventory are the most important from amongst the entire list that has been provided in the syllabus. Financial statements, both the preparation and the analysis through ratios, is the most important aspect from this syllabus. Then the meaning of the various share transactions like the buyback, the rights, the bonus share, what they mean and what are the guidelines related to such share transactions, and how the entries impact the financial statements is to be revised. Specifically pay attention to rights and the bonus shares. Moving to the next subject, next in line should be the Companies Act. Here it's not a very vast syllabus, but when you're revising, paying attention to certain key definitions from the prospectus and allocation. Specifically the different types of prospectus should be revised again. The shares and debentures chapters, again there are various rules related to different types of shares and the debentures that can be issued. So knowing those rules and the meaning, like issuing shares at premium, what does that mean? What are sweat shares? Okay, what are ESOPs? So meaning of the different types of shares and debentures is very, very important. Dividend is a very simple chapter. Here memory is more important, remembering the dividend payout timelines. When once declared, what is the timeline to pay and move the dividend amount if unpaid. So these regulations and timelines should be very, very clear. Auditors is another important topic. Here the appointment and the term of auditors and the various disqualifications. Pay special attention to the disqualifications. If there are any amounts mentioned under disqualifications, one should be aware about, and if not following these rules, what are the penalties? In case of this chapter, also pay attention to the penalty amount. Similarly, the directors related and the board of meetings related topic. Here also paying importance to what are the rules, what is the quorum, when the meeting should be held. All these aspects are important. Who are independent directors, what are the rules related to them? This should be revised and remembered from this particular chapter. There's another chapter of NCLT. Yes, you can revise that. Basic information about the NCLT, quorum and heads is important. The next stage should be focused on finance. Finance is more general awareness and recent developments aspect. So it will be prepared when you are preparing for your GA aspect. So recent developments become the most important aspect here. And financial markets. When I'm talking about the financial markets, both the capital and the money market instruments and terminology you should be aware. Similarly, the derivatives, the different terminologies associated here, you should be aware and should be revising. Next day should be spent on revision of all these three subjects. Moving to the 31st of October, we will cover economics. Here, demand and supply concepts, market structures, ISLM from your part A are the most important. From part B, monetary policy, the latest monetary policy of RBI, what is the current CRR, repo rate, reverse repo, SDF, this all becomes important. The terms related to national income and inflation are also important. Also know the current data related to inflation and the GDP. The recent developments while preparing for GA also become important here in economics. On the 1st of November, focus on revision of costing. Here, revise the key definitions related to costing, what is cost accounting, how it's different from financial accounting, what is management accounting, and different terminologies related to costing like the cost center, cost unit, understand cost unit costing, what is prime cost, what all goes into prime cost, what is works cost. So you should be aware and differentiate between the different types of costs and what goes in where. Then marginal costing and the concept of break even, the meaning of contribution, what is PV ratio, this should be revised. Understanding of standard costing and variances and the budget would be the next important thing to revise. On the 2nd of November, spend time on the remaining two subjects of management and pension sector. I have clubbed these two together because these are quicker to go through. So, and they are, mostly understanding or factual based information that you will have to remember. So from management, the first three parts relate to management. which are related to the functions of management and the roles of manager. Then leadership, what are the different leadership styles and the motivations and the motivation theories. The communication is very, very important. The importance of communication, the barriers to communication, the process of communication, the various networks in communication, all of this are important. When it comes to pension sector, the most important schemes under PFRDA is the NPS and the Atal Pension Yojana. So all the features related to these you should be aware. All the features, the entry date, the contribution, the different types of accounts in NPS tier 1 and tier 2, what are the taxation rules, what are the exit rules, what are the entry age, what is the exit age, all the features related to these both of the schemes you should be aware. Then apart from these two schemes, there are other pension schemes that exist in our country, some under EPFO and some under the government. Again, you should be aware about all these schemes and their features too. So both EPF and other schemes are there which you should be aware about. Then knowing about PFRDA and the various intermediaries that fall under PFRDA, the functions of those intermediaries and which ones are there that exist, the names also you should be aware. And any recent developments in the pension sector are also important. So any changes if there have been in the NPS or APY or any other pension sector scheme, you should be aware about these. One very important point to revise is the numerical. From the finance and costing are the most common topics from which numericals can come. So the topics that are most likely and you should be preparing, and at phase 1 level mostly basic level numericals are most expected. So ratios calculation and depreciation calculation, and also the inventory, the closing inventory or the opening inventory calculations you should be able to do. And from costing, break even analysis, margin of safety, the PV ratio. So the concept of marginal costing overall from the numerical points would be important. At phase 1 level, standard costing and variances related numericals are less probable to be asked. However, if you are good at these, you can spend time in practicing those. If not, then at this moment don't stress about the numericals, higher level numericals of these topics. 4th of November should be spent in revising, as I was talking about in paper 1, and second half of the day should be spent in relaxing, having a fresh mind, a good night's sleep, a good food, so that you have a fresh mind on the 5th before you give the exam. With this strategy and our expert faculty at iExamB, you can prepare 50% faster for this exam. So spend this time judiciously in revision, give a lot of time to revision before the exam. Thank you and wishing you all the best for the upcoming PFRDA Grade A exam. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for some revision series related to PFRDA exam.